Hello, good morning. Thank you to those who are here to watch the asynchronous recording of our session for today. Since it's 7:30 a.m., we'll go ahead and start. I don't think this will take too long, especially since a lot of you will just be watching a recording of this later on. I hope everybody is safe and dry despite the situation today. But yeah, um, oh yeah, and Merry Christmas. Let's go ahead and start our session. Okay. Some more people are coming in. Okay, here we go. So, ecology lecture. The lecture course for this term is new. We've made some significant edits from before. Of course, the essence of it will still stay the same, but this time we've decided that for EcoGen, um, the lecture course will emphasize the application of the scientific method, because of course that's the backbone of any STEM subject. And of course, we would like to give everybody an opportunity to practice critical reasoning, but of course, in the context of ecological research. We will have um, a particular focus on the design and analysis of what Hurlburt would describe as mensurative and manipulative experiments. Now, some of you might be thinking at this point, hala, sino si Hurlburt? Well, hopefully by the end of the term, close na kayo ni Hurlburt kasi napaka-useful talaga ng text niya, ng sinulat niya yung paper para maintindihan natin paano ba talaga maging isang scientist. So, some of the core topics that we will include this term would include sampling and experimental design, population ecology, and systems ecology. So, we will give you an opportunity para mag-examine ng population level processes, so growth, regulation, and species interactions, pero pati na rin systems level dynamics like energy flow, nutrient cycling, and ecosystem feedbacks. So lahat yan in tandem with your activities in lab. Hopefully we'll do this through discussions, reading through experiments done by other people, and of course, performing your own well-structured experiments. So what I love most about ecology, I mean, right now we're suffering through the consequences of climate change. Wala tayong pasok on our first day of the term. For me, the study of ecology is so much more relevant now more than ever kasi yung mga approaches na ma-encounter nyo throughout the term can be applied to urgent environmental issues. Meron tayong biodiversity crisis. Every day we encounter pollution, habitat degradation, and of course, yung overexploitation din ng renewable resources. Kaya gusto naming ma-emphasize yung experimental strategies at iba't ibang ecological perspectives para we can train up the next generation of ano ba, armies, parang BTS lang, of people who can help us address the contemporary challenges that we're facing with regards to the environment, especially within the Philippine context. This is the Ecology Professional Learning Committee, or the PLC. So our PLC believes that collaboration, multidisciplinarity, and interdisciplinarity is very important when it comes to teaching a course. So you might have heard this from other people who've taken up ecology before. Technically, pag nag-ecology ka, hindi lang isa yung nagiging faculty mo. By one, take 6 po kami. So even though I will be in charge of your ecology lecture classes this term, my name is Dr. Chona Abeledo. Assisting me actively would be Sir Lawrence Robles and Miss Hilary Orario, your lab faculty. but you will definitely also, at the very least, hear the voice of Dr. Ali Kwanan, who is the original developer of this course, the founder of the current iteration of ecology as it is now. And then in the lab, you'll probably encounter panelists, co-evaluators in the form of Doc Sam Mamawag, Sir Dennis Dolohan, and Doc Hope Swan. So we do this mainly because when you are a scientist, when you're a professional, when you're a medical doctor, you will get to encounter different kinds of personalities, different ways of looking at the same thing. And even though we think sometimes na, ang science, dapat iisa lang naman ang interpretation dyan. At the end of the day, we will still need to be able to explain the science that we're doing to different kinds of personalities and different kinds of people. And so encountering these different perspectives would be very useful in training how you communicate and how you explain yourselves. So yeah, pampatibay siya ng confidence, pampatibay siya ng critical thinking. So yun. And of course, we're happy to support the following SDGs. And we know, we're very confident as a PLC that we are equipping you with obviously scientific knowledge, experimental skills, but also very close to our hearts would be giving you all the opportunity to practice ethical responsibility. Kasi alam naman natin lahat, ang ethics ngayon, parang hindi na siya ganun ka-common. We keep seeing a lot of corruption news online, ang sakit sa loob. But I think what a few people would realize is how corruption actually starts with small things. Okay lang naman siguro ako mag-cheat sa quiz. Quiz lang naman siya. Okay lang naman sigurong i-leak ko tong question na 'to, isang question lang naman, hindi naman 'yan maaapektuhan yung future. I mean, ecology, ano bang kinalaman niyan sa future ko? Pero it's actually the daily small tests of our integrity that helps us build the moral backbone to refuse 300 million pesos when it's being offered to you, because you need to overlook some of the illegal things that are being done by other people. So it starts small, but it's a slippery slope. And I hope that through regular practice in class, we get to not just build our knowledge of science, but also build up our integrity. So yon, lahat po yan ay practice ng ating ethical responsibility. At syempre, again, ang context natin dito sa ecology is, ano ba, para i-apply natin siya in very pressing ecological and societal challenges. So this course hopefully would also foster inclusivity. A lot of your activities in lab and some activities in lecture would be group works. And it will expose you to different worldviews ng classmates nyo. Cultural awareness, kasi even though kahit karamihan sa atin, if not all of us, are Filipino, we might have different ways of looking at things because of where we grew up in, how our families brought us up. And so we hope that this course would help you learn how to collaborate better, so that you are more prepared to contribute to equitable. Kasi ako, mas advocate ako ng equity kesa ng equality, no? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao pare-pareho ng pinanggalingan. And therefore, equitability equips us more to give us a better chance at life. So yun nga, hopefully, this class would help you contribute to equitability, innovativeness, and of course, sustainability in our communities. So we would love to integrate ecology with social responsibility para lahat tayo makasuporta sa mga global efforts na poprotektahan ng buhay, hindi lang buhay ng tao, but also life on land and life below water across all species, so that we can strengthen our institutions at magkaroon tayo ng mas malalim na pagtutulungan, more meaningful partnerships for sustainable development. Now, all of that is linked, of course, with who we are as Lasallians. You might be seeing this in a lot of your syllabi from when you were frosh to now. Ang ELGA, no? Yung expected Lasallian graduate attributes. So, actually, when I started teaching in LaSalle, we only had 4. Now we've increased it to 6 based on what we see that the world needs. So hopefully this course will help the rest of the Lasallian community shape culturally sensitive, critical, and creative thinkers. And particularly for this class, ang focus natin is critical thinking and creative thinking. Kaya sa lab classes, as supplemented by lecture classes, ang challenge nyo lagi ay mag-design ng sarili nyong mensurative and manipulative experiments. Meron kayong worksheet, so basically, may skeleton na nung experiments na gagawin nyo, but a lot of the important aspects of those experiments, such as the hypothesis, how you're going to do your randomization, and so on, kayo pa rin yung magde-decide. Because we need to build your ability to make decisions, informed decisions, when it comes to the creation of your own experiments. Gusto namin mas maging confident kayo sa sarili nyong ability na mag-design at gumawa ng mga bagay-bagay. Second, we hope that you would be effective communicators. Communicate the science that we're doing well, not just to your teacher, not just to your faculty in charge, but to other scientists, whether it's your classmates, other faculty, or even research associates that are affiliated with the university. Pero apart from just communicating your science, I hope that in class, we can also foster a culture na maayos tayong nag-uusap, you and me, kasi meron tayong respect sa isa't isa. So pag may kailangan kayo, pag may bagay kayo na kailangang i-clarify, pag meron kayong lesson na hindi naiintindihan, I hope hindi kayo mahiya na i-communicate sa akin yon so that I can learn to assist you better. Apart from that, I hope that you also learn to communicate with each other as students. The STEM program that you're in, it's not necessarily easy, and it's made even more difficult if mag-isa ka lang na ginagapang yung pag-aaral mo. And one of the best ways to thrive in STEM is to find your community, to find your tribe, to find the people who will support you, who will assist you in your studying, and who will be there even to just listen to your issues and problems. So sana matuto rin tayong mag-communicate sa ating mga kaibigan, sa ating mga peers, para mas makapag-collaborate tayo ng maayos. We also want you to be reflective lifelong learners and competent self-nurturers, which basically means there are instances where our lecture, our readings will not be enough for you to create an output. Kasi kailangan din namin kayong i-train na maging part ng isang mundo na there are times na tayo mismo ang kailangang maghanap ng sagot. So, we want you to generate your own hypotheses, not just get the hypotheses from us. We want you to be able to know which parts of the experiment will effectively test these hypotheses. And most importantly for scientists, once we finish our experiments, you have to know what's next. Anong susunod na mangyayari? Para hindi tayo tatanungin ng mga tao ng, so what? Research kayo ng research. Bakit ba addict na addict kayo sa research? Dapat hindi tayo natutulala sa mga ganong questions. And yeah, the best way to answer those questions is for us to be able to make recommendations. Ano na yung susunod na mangyayari? So hopefully, matrain namin kayo dyan dito sa ecology. Then of course, we want you to be engaged and service-driven citizens. So, ang context natin, kahit napakaraming problema at parang napakalaki ng problema ng mundo ngayon, for ecology, we want you to focus, syempre, sa status at health ng ating environment. Paano natin matutulungan ang karagatan? Paano natin matutulungan ang kagubatan? Paano natin matutulungan ang iba't ibang ecosystems na meron tayo? Para naman ang mga future generations ay hindi maubusan or mawalan, no? So that's what we hope to do for the term. And then, of course, we want to help mold you to be virtue-guided decision makers, responsible at competent. Hindi yan nakikita sa 4.0, sa 3.5, sa 3, kasi numero lang yun sa papel. Being a virtue-guided decision maker is seen in your honesty, in the way you're able to achieve your achievements without putting down others, to achieve your achievements without doing shortcuts, and also to be confident even though you might encounter failures or difficulties. Naniniwala kami sa ecology na ang essence ng tao ay hindi lamang nakikita sa kanyang success, pero nakikita kung paano siya bumabangon. There is a lot of things to be improved with our current educational system. And one of the most important things that you can learn from university, from your classes, is how to stand up whenever you encounter instances of hardships and failure. So, sana nandoon tayo para sa isa't isa, para mapalakas at mapatibay natin yung isa't isa. And of course, we want you to be technically competent professionals. Kasi nga nag-sign kayo for a Bachelor of Science degree in biology or in animal biology with the particular specialization that you want. And syempre, you when you graduate with the program, dapat meron kayo nung skills para ma-practice yon. So part yung ecology doon. Hindi man siya masyadong halata, especially if you're gonna go to the medical field. Pero isipin nyo na lang, bakit nga ba nagkakasakit ang mga tao? Hindi lang naman dahil sa nangyayari sa katawan natin, pero pati na rin sa na-encounter natin sa ating environment. So connected talaga siya lahat. And that's why ecology, even though it feels like, ang layo niya sa buto, sa muscle, sa digestive system, napaka-importante pa rin po niya if gusto nating maging competent na medical practitioner, kung gusto nating maging competent na veterinarian, and definitely kung gusto nating maging competent na scientist. So, ayun po. By the way, for those who are here, if at any point you have any questions or points of clarification, huwag po tayong mahihiyang mag-raise ng hand. In ecology, bawal po ang mahiyain. If you want to ask a question, we will usually ask you to unmute and ask the question. So don't be shy, ha? Bawal lang mahiyain sa ecology. So this is an overview of our learning plan across the 14 weeks that we have for the term. Alam namin na pwede pa rin itong magulo kasi yun nga, every once in a while we will encounter cancellation of classes because we are smack dab in the middle of typhoon season. Pero our first module is really focused on the scientific method. Paano nga ba maging isang scientist? So our first 4 weeks will be focused on that. The next 4 weeks will be on systems ecology. Independent learning week is usually on week 9. And then afterwards, we'll close with population ecology. So, ano-ano ba tong mga topic na ito? So, para lang handa po tayo, please take note din na meron tayong mga pre-recorded lectures for Module 1. Napansin nyo, marami sa kanila visible na. So, it's actually up to you. Pwede nyo na siyang panoorin ngayon kung bored kayo. Mamimit nyo na rin si Sir Al through those recordings. And we hope to use our synchronous classes for consultation and emphasis. Kasi gusto naming naririnig ang mga boses nyo. Gusto naming nalalaman kung saan kayo medyo confused para mas ma-tailor fit namin yung subject para matulungan kayo. So, minsan na nga lang tayo magkita-kita, once a week na face-to-face, once a week na online. Mas magandang nagkukwentuhan tayo rather than nakikinig lang kayo sa akin pag meron tayong synchronous sessions. Okay? So anyway, yun nga, ano bang mga pwede niyong i-expect sa ating tatlong modules na meron? So for Module 1, we want to develop yung ability nyo to critically analyze at also mag-interpret ng ecological data. So napaka-strong nung emphasis natin sa experimental design. And ang bida natin dito, as in super, super, duper, mega important, ay si Hurlbert. Yung paper po na ito ay na-publish noong late 1900s. Noong 1984. Happy naman ako, hindi pa ako pinapanganak, publish na yung paper. um, pero even though it's an old paper, it's still very important and very much applicable to today. So, hindi po lahat ng luma ay pangit, no? So, si Hurlbert kasi, he provides yung foundational framework para maintindihan ang tamang design, the proper design and inference. So it's essential reading from senior high school to grad school. Hurlbert is very, very important. We also have complementary texts available to you. We have Cumming et al. So, and also Feliciano. And hopefully these papers would help enhance your skills when evaluating accuracy, precision, and also real-world applications ng ecological experiments. Okay? Ang Module 2 naman, para saan ba siya? So here on Module 2, i-explore natin yung interconnectedness ng iba't ibang ecosystem. Di ba sabi nila, no man is an island, no ecosystem is also an island. Walang system na nagfa-function in isolation. So here we hope that you can learn paano mag-trace ng resource flows across trophic levels. We hope that you can quantify the role of limiting nutrients at i-compute ang kanilang ecological value. Bakit mafi-figure out natin bakit mas may turbulence pag ang eroplano lumilipad above cities, bakit sobrang dalas na magbaha ngayon, global warming lang ba talaga siya or may ibang bagay. So maraming bagay tayong pag-uusapan na very relevant when it comes to systems ecology. We will also look at how energy is transferred within ecological systems. No? Napaka-importante nun since energy right now is one of the most expensive resources. So bakit nga ba siya naging expensive? Paano siya natatransfer from one trophic level to the other? And then when we finally close with population ecology, syempre, basics, tuturuan namin kayo paano siya i-distinguish from communities at paano i-examine yung mga important parameters that would describe their dynamics. So, maraming math ang population ecology. So you'd work with age structures, we'll do computations of life tables, we will have models of population growth. So, as early as now, shore up your confidence, no? Because this module would require you to master. I don't really like the term memorize, no? But we need you to master formulas and computation using Excel and your scientific calculator. From there, once we've mastered the math, once we've overcome our fear of math or embraced our love of math, we will introduce life history strategies, and then we will link all of that math that you've done, all of that quantitative analysis with ecological theory. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng math na yun? Okay? And of course, a lot of you are probably just here to know about your grading system. So we've designed your grading system so that it's a little bit more holistic in trying to assess your learning and growth throughout our term. So we'll have 3 long exams, which is worth 50% of your final grade, para ma-evaluate namin yung mastery nyo of core concepts at different stages throughout the term. Hopefully, the scheduling of our long exams would allow you to build your knowledge progressively, especially since ecology is designed in such that the info you learned from the previous module will help support your understanding of the next. So hindi po disconnected yung modules natin. They build on each other. Now, we'll also have quizzes, which is 10% of your final grade. You should have about 2 to 3 quizzes per module, dependent on availability of time. Kasi of course, pag nagkaroon ng cancellation of classes, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng quiz. But we've noticed that over time, our students are excited to have quizzes kasi they provide you frequent pero low stake opportunities in order for you to check how well you're understanding the concepts. And yun nga, it encourages consistent preparation. Hindi tayo nagiging petics. Naiiwasan natin yung, next week na ako mag-aaral kasi matagal pa naman yung exam. Regular quizzes is like, you slowly build your strength. It's like training for a marathon. If you know you're gonna run 42 kilometers in 3 months, running slowly every week will help you gain your endurance so that you can survive the marathon. So it's something like that. And then, of course, our favorite would be class discussions and participation. So that's 5% of your grade. We want to reward engagement. We want to reward curiosity. We also want to create a safe space for critical thinking, collaborative learning, and making mistakes. Ang class participation, kahit mali yung sagot nyo, kahit weird yung question nyo, it would actually add more points than mababawasan. In ecology, pag hindi ka nagsalita, dun ka lang may minus. Pero kung magsalita ka, kahit may mali dun sa sinabi mo, okay lang. Kasi it helps us figure out, okay, nandun pa lang yung understanding. So they need more support here. Kasi, syempre, wala naman kaming expectations na perfect kayo agad, na gets nyo agad. Kasi kahit naman kami, nag-grow pa rin kami in our understanding of ecology. Pero we can only grow if we communicate. That's why we would like to reward communication in our class. And then, of course, we have your comprehensive final exam. So this one would measure integration and application of knowledge across the entire course. We usually design our final exam na ang hirap nang ma-figure out if the question is for module 1, 2, or 3. Kasi nga, nagdudugtong-dugtong sila, nag-overlap sila, and they support each other. So we're hopeful that these components would balance continuous assessment through quizzes and class participation with cumulative evaluation through the 3 long exams and final exam, so that we give you a chance na mapalalim yung understanding nyo, and at the same time, we sustain academic development. Okay? Now, since we're already talking about grading, let's talk about your first homework. So I hope this is not too intimidating. I think you can finish this in 5 minutes. So if you have some free time today, your first homework is a short introductory activity where we would want you to learn more about how PowerPoint works. So this is a little bit different from Google Slides, but PowerPoint is a very powerful tool, and also it's being provided to you for free by the university, whereas it would be very expensive if you would purchase this on your own. So take advantage of it. You can usually download the Microsoft Office suite from the ITS website. So come on, gamitin na natin. Sayang yung pera. But anyway, we want you to create and upload a PowerPoint slide with audio containing some personal information, including a recent photo, your full name, of course, ID number, your nickname. That's the required ones. But if you want to share some info about your major, your career goals, your background and interests, we would definitely appreciate that, so that we can learn more about what motivates you. Para saan kayo gumigising sa umaga? Lalong-lalo na kung meron kayong 7:30 a.m. class katulad ng ecology. We'll also need you to take note if you're a DL or not in that PowerPoint slide, because even the university rewards excellence in the sense that if you were a DL in the previous term, you will have some benefits to our course. So, um, apart from that, please take note of the standardized file name and clear formatting. Hindi po siya dahil OC lang kami and so on. We believe giving some concrete instructions like this would reinforce your attention to detail, and also it's basic professionalism. And both of those are skills that are valuable hindi lang sa school, pero pati na rin sa career. Maraming tao ang nasa-skip out sa pag-hire sa kanilang mga dream job kasi hindi nila sinunod yung formatting. Maraming tao ang hindi naaaprubahan ng visa kasi mali yung format nung sinubmit nilang document. May mga bank accounts na naku-close kasi mali yung deadlines and so on. So all of this is really just a practice to fit with society that can demand a lot from us. Okay? So these are our class policies. I would elaborate some of them on Thursday kasi yun nga, only a fraction of the classes here. But these class policies, we've designed them so that we create a productive, a respectful, and also hopefully an engaging learning environment. We hope that you can come to class prepared. You're fully equipped for our discussions kasi napanood nyo na yung assigned videos and you're ready with your questions so that our class time can be used for deepening your understanding, no? And also so that we can have an exchange of ideas. We really encourage active participation. We want you to support your learning by the responsible use of our textbooks, of the internet, because the internet is a very powerful place. You can use that during discussions. But please note that honesty and integrity, these are non-negotiable values. Cheating, it hurts you more than it hurts us. Sinisira niya yung discipline nyo of studying, of learning. And so we strictly prohibit that from class. Of course, it's also in line with our student handbook's policies on academic dishonesty, attendance, and behavior. Now, in class, we hope you can practice respectful decorum. We hope that you can come to class on time. And of course, that you pay attention. Lahat po yan napaka-importante kasi they foster, again, mutual respect. And it ensures that all of us benefits from the collaborative learning process. Okay? So again, I will elaborate more on this on Thursday when we see each other face to face. For those of you who learn more through reading, siguro one thing that I would like to remind everybody is that our class will focus on analyzing ecological systems and their application. So analysis. We will not just reiterate basic terms and definitions. So it's not about memorizing terms, how do you define them, their spelling, etc. So really, analysis is our focus. Pero, if you feel less confident about your understanding of foundational concepts and you would like to review them, this textbook would be very useful. So I think you can purchase it from McGraw-Hill, from any bookstore that carries McGraw-Hill textbooks. They also have a website. You can message the local supplier from that website. But you know, any online copy, if you find one, would be very useful for our class. Okay. So yun. I will now be moving forward to an introduction of Module 1. So before anything else, I'd like to open up the floor to questions or points of clarification regarding the course dun sa mga nag-attend ng ating asynchronous session today. So if you don't have any question, okay, game. Mai, go ahead. If you can unmute, I'd appreciate it.
Good morning po. I just have a question regarding the quizzes. Will they be aligned to each module? So kung wari po, quiz 1 will be aligned to module 1, quiz 2, module 2, parang ganun po ba yung
Yes.
topics?
Yes, definitely they will be aligned to the module. They'll be as aligned as possible to the discussion that we're currently in. However, since the discussion of each module is really interconnected. That's also the reason why we publish all the pre-recorded videos beforehand so that you can watch them as quickly or as slowly as you need. So normally when we do quiz 1, for example, it covers some of the earlier lectures. Pero sometimes kasi some of our students feel na, Miss, mas naintindihan ko siya after watching video 6 or video 7. Um, so there's a benefit in binge watching. Um, and also the videos are not that long, usually 15 to 20 minutes lang sila. Pero yun nga, everybody has different paces of learning din kasi. So I don't think watching through all the videos is important for each quiz. Pero yun lang, depende talaga siya sa speed of learning. Does that help answer your question, Mai?
Yes po. Can I ask another one?
Yes, of course, go ahead.
So will it be your will it be synchronous? So parang will we have to have open cam and will we have do you have like specific requirements for us whenever we're taking the quiz po?
In ecology, our quizzes are there for us, your faculty, to learn how deeply you've understood the topic. It's low stakes, so it's 10%, but we do understand that, oh my gosh, it's 10%. So we don't really want to be like eagle eye policing you, like, are they cheating? Are they not? We hope that we can trust you enough to be honest during the quizzes. So while they will be implemented during synchronous sessions, um, and we know that internet speed can be fickle sometimes, we won't really ask you to have specific setups when it comes to quizzes. But you can expect that our long exams, as well as our comprehensive final exam, will always be done face to face. So, in the event na dumami ulit yung cancellation of classes, may chance na, ay miss, nakaschedule tayo ng online, pero dahil nga nawalan tayo ng pasok, baka meron tayong online classes na mag-shift tayo to face para makapag face-to-face long exam tayo. So, yun.
Okay po. Thank you po.
Thank you. Any other question from the rest of the class? Okie dokie, kung medyo nahihiya pa sila, wala namang problema. You're always welcome to ask questions at any point during the lecture. But yeah, let's go ahead and go to the introduction of our first module on scientific method, experimental design, as we apply it in ecology. So one thing I do to help support the learning of my students, kasi some students, okay, ito na lahat ng videos, panoorin niyo siya, go, go, go. You know, people who like binge watching. But for others na mabilis ma-overwhelm, I notice that some of them are more inclined to study pag may schedule. So you feel free to screen cap this. I mean, the recording of this lecture will be posted within today. Pero just in case you want to have a quick visual guide to assist you throughout our first 4 weeks, please feel free to screen cap this. If any more class cancellation happens, of course, this would adjust. But for now, this can ideally help you figure out, okay, which pre-recorded lecture should I watch today? Which should I watch tomorrow? And so on. When are the quizzes gonna be? When is the first long exam? So, you know, we all believe in pre-planning and how it helps you. So this is our rough schedule for our first 4 weeks of class, and I hope it will be useful for you. So right now, what's urgent is your class directory, but you can see that I think for every Monday after today, you'll have a quiz. So for quiz 1, it would be ideal if you've finished watching lectures, the pre-recorded lectures 1 and 2. of course, apart from participating in our synchronous sessions. By quiz 2, it would be good if you've watched the first 5 lectures. By quiz 3, it would be good if you watched 7 lectures and all the readings. So para ma-pace nyo yung sarili nyo, I've created this schedule that I hope would be useful. Okay? So I hope everybody has captured this sked. We now move forward to this slide. Puro question. Kasi in this course, we would like to encourage you to ask thoughtful, pinag-isipan, engaging questions that would help deepen your understanding rather than just memorize things. The kinds of questions we hope to receive and you can expect to get are those that explore explanations, connections, and application. So, why? How? What do you think will happen if? So, mga ganon. In the Ecology PLC, we love questions that identify main ideas, those that draw comparisons or contrasts, those that apply concepts to new examples, or those that link yung topics na pinag-uusapan natin sa class to current events. O kaya nagli-link nung topics natin sa date na to earlier lessons or even other subjects that you've encountered before. So, strong questions na pwedeng itanong for class participation points would also consider implications, strengths and weaknesses over different, let's say, experimental designs. And of course, yung reasoning behind those choices. For example, if you want to know the difference in terms of accuracy and precision of 2 methods, what would be the best approach and why? So, yung mga questions na to, again, they're designed so it can foster critical thinking, it can foster debates even, active discussion, and deeper learning for the whole class. So, yung mga questions na to, pwede nyo siyang i-apply actually kahit hindi sa ecology. Pero yun lang, ang context natin dito, even though useful siya, kahit hindi lang sa ecology is, gagamitin natin siya para mas maaral ang kalikasan. Kasi, ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng ecology? So, the term ecology is pretty old but also pretty young in the history of man. It actually comes from 2 Greek words, oikos, which means house, which means home, and also logos, the study of. So it literally means the study of our home. No, inaaral natin ang ating bahay. So unang beses siyang na-coin or na-invent ng isang German biologist, si Ernst Haeckel. He used the term oikology para i-describe ang study ng organisms in relation to their environment and to one another. Of course, over time, the scope and definition of ecology has evolved. So, early ecologists, they focused largely on describing species and habitats. But by the early 20th century, nag-expand na siya to include population dynamics, community interactions, and ecosystem processes. And by the mid-20th century, na-incorporate na niya yung experimental methods and quantitative models. Kaya nagsimula nang magkaroon ng mas rigorous, mas systems-based na science. So, nag-iiba, kaya noong 1950s, ang focus niya is abundance and distribution, which is very mathematical. Gaano karami, saan mo sila makikita? Now, building on that definition, si Eugene Odum, isa siya sa mga nag-offer ng pinakamalawak at systems-based perspective. So yung definition niya nakikita niyo sa screen right now, it highlights na ang ecology is not limited to just numbers. Hindi lang siya abundance, distribution. Pero it includes processes. Yung flow ng energy, paano nagsicycle ang nutrients, paano nagkakaroon ng interactions ang iba't ibang organisms, So, yun yung nagsusustain ng ecosystem. So, Odom, his work, was especially influential kasi isa siya sa mga nagsulat ng ecology books na ginagamit sa napakaraming university. Kahit ako, nung student ako, si Odom ang textbook namin. So, yung pag-frame niya um, ng different ways to study organisms and the factors that affect organisms, it established ecology as the science of ecosystems. So, na-emphasize niya yung integration ng organisms with processes that make life possible. This evolved over time. Early 2000s, Bush described ecology as something that can focus back to interactions among organisms and between organisms and their surroundings. So kinakapture ni Bush yung biotic and abiotic dimensions of ecology, living and non-living things. So among all of your biology courses, this is the one that is very interdisciplinary because definitely it will incorporate physics and chemistry in it. So it's a more accessible framing kasi it underscores ecology's role in explaining relationships at multiple levels, from individual organisms to whole ecosystems. Habang ini-emphasize niya yung connections at interdependence. So, ang dami kong definition na naibigay. Pero sadly, ecology is also mistaken for other disciplines. I mean, closely related naman kasi talaga sila. Hindi naman kasalanan na nako-confuse ka. But ecology is actually distinct from several other fields that are often mistaken for it. For example, natural history. It focuses on describing habits, behaviors, and interactions of organisms in their natural environment. So parang ecology siya. Pero, unlike ecology, it's largely observational and descriptive, so it doesn't test hypotheses. However, important pa rin si natural history kasi siya yung nagpo-provide ng background knowledge upon which ecological research is built upon. So, importante siyang predecessor ng ecology. Environmental science is also often mistaken as ecology. Pero environmental science kasi examines specifically the ecological effects of human activities on the environment. So very anthropocentric siya. Nakasentro siya sa atin bilang tao. Ano ang epekto natin sa kalikasan? So, just like ecology, it would integrate insights from chemistry, geology, and social sciences. Pero, tandaan, ecology studies interactions in nature broadly. Environmental science focuses on humans. And therefore, a lot of the applications of environmental science is very much on human impacts and applied solutions to environmental problems that we caused. So, puro tayo talaga siya. And then lastly, there's conservation biology. It's another form of applied science. But kung ang natural history ang past, conservation biology ay future. Kasi it uses the principles of ecology, of course, along with genetics and management practices, para i-maintain at i-manage ang biodiversity. Kasi ang ecology, it aims to understand. So we want to understand patterns and processes in ecosystems. Pero conservation biology, it applies that to understanding para mas protektahan natin yung iba't ibang species, iba't ibang habitats, at iba't ibang ecosystem. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's confusing kasi these fields overlap, but they differ in terms of their scope, their methods, and their purpose. Okay. So, to close off our orientation for today, again, last slide na ito, I just want to remind everybody that the scope of ecology would span multiple levels of biological organization. So malamang natakol niyo na to high school or senior high. It starts with individuals, individual ecology, which is also called AUT ecology, AUT ecology. So this has mostly a focus on how a single organism would interact with its environment. So we can look at its physiology, its behavior, and its adaptations for survival. So pwede talaga yun, ecology pa rin siya. Pero kadalasan, and especially for this subject, we would focus on population ecology. This is when we have groups of individuals of the same species, no, living together in a common place. So titignan natin ang kanilang population size, population growth, how they regulate their age structure and their dynamics over time. Pero syempre, in one place, very rare na isang species lang talaga yung nakatira. And so we can expand it also to community ecology. We look at how different species actually interact within a shared environment. So we look at different relationships like competition, predation, mutualism, and even succession. So paano nag-change yung composition ng species across generations. Now, if we want to include the abiotic factors, we go to ecosystem ecology. So, dyan napapasok yung flow of energy and cycling of nutrients, especially if we want to look at it between organisms and their physical environment. So, dyan na talaga natin pinagsasama ang living at non-living components. We can also go to biomes, which is generally called landscape ecology. So that's when we do a lot of modeling, a lot of big data analysis, kasi we look at spatial patterns, habitat connectivity, we look at large-scale processes that would affect ecological dynamics across different ecosystems in large portions of the planet. And then, of course, finally, we do biosphere ecology or global ecology, wherein tinitingnan na talaga natin ang kabuuan ang ating planeta, Earth as a system. So we look at large-scale interactions katulad ng climate regulation, biogeochemical cycles, and human impacts on planetary sustainability. So kailangan global yung data scale mo. So together, yung mga levels na to, ang pinapakita nila is how ecology connects individual adaptations, tayo as an animal, yung halaman as an individual plant, and so on, to global environmental systems. Paano tayo nakadugtong sa iba't ibang organisms na connected dahil sa isang planeta lang tayo nakatira. So we emphasize that processes at one scale will influence and is also influenced by those at higher and lower scales. So minsan, kahit feeling natin, maliit lang yung effect natin, pag pinagsama-sama natin siya, lumalaki din. So some people call it the butterfly effect. Some people believe it's provenance. Actually, it's just science, no? Kaya napaka-importante talaga ng collaboration, ng having a joint goal and a joint focus. Okay? So with that, we close today's orientation. I flash again our schedule for Module 1. On Thursday, September 4, we will see each other again face-to-face. Hindi ko pa na-check kung ano yung classroom nyo, but ideally kung ano yung nasa MLS, yun talaga siya. Hopefully during class, you can ask me questions about Lecture 1 and about Hurlburt. And hopefully by then, I could have looked at the class directory by Wednesday so that I'm at least slightly familiar with who you are. So looking forward to seeing everybody on September 4. Everybody keep safe. I hope you all stay dry and warm today. But before we close today's session, I again open the floor to questions or points of clarification from our students. Well, if none, I thank you so much for attending Aika, Mai, Maria Josefa, Isabella, Margaret. It really feels nice na I'm not alone in the Zoom room this morning. So I really, really appreciate you being here. So looking forward to seeing you all on Thursday. Ingat lagi guys ha. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.